And welcome back. Let's keep the ball rolling here on the Overwatch action. Achilles and Wolf back in for our next match. And oh boy, is it a big one. We've got the Shanghai Dragons going up against the San Francisco Shock, a rematch of our Stage 3 final.
It was almost a reverse sweep for the Shock in that very series. The Shanghai Dragons were able to, in the final map, bring it back. Very close series. Looked like it was going to be one-sided, and it just turned on its head in an instant. This is a very different meta we're in now than the meta they were playing in the finals. And I'm not talking about GOATs, I'm talking about which DPS heroes are used. We saw a ton of Doomfist out of Dragons, we saw triple DPS, we saw the Widow and the Pharah. Today, these teams are going to be stuck using 2 damage heroes. Those are the rules for the rest of time in Overwatch. And I think that this time, the Shock have an opportunity for revenge. They come in as big favorites here in this Stage 4 rematch.
Well, certainly should be looking for that redemption after losing their golden stage in the Stage 2 playoffs, after losing the Stage 3 final at the hands of the Shanghai Dragons. Going to be looking for that revenge. The Shock currently sitting in that 3rd place spot. The Pacific Division still within reach for them, but need to be winning out the remainder of these matches, because if they can get that top 2 spot, have that Pacific Division, they get a bye in the playoffs.
And you can see the Dragons kind of stuck at that 0 map differential right there, the odd ones out in the top 10. So really important for them to take this. When you take a look at the remaining schedule, you've got the Shock, arguably the hardest of the 4 they have left. Dynasty, looking a little bit better these days, taking a win yesterday. Eternal, you feel pretty reasonable about that. Then when we hit the rivalry weekend, you have Spark coming up. So this is the toughest remaining match they have. If they can take this one, they're on track for making that top 6 spot, as long as they don't choke any of those final matches away.
Yeah, gonna be looking to bounce back after that upset loss at the hands of the Defiant. You know, the only win that they've been really able to pick up for themselves as of late. And they took it against the Stage 3 champions. So a really crazy loss there for the Shanghai Dragons. The one against Vancouver, a bit more understandable at the beginning of the stage when 2-2-2 first implemented. But, you know, Shanghai not being able to run triple DPS anymore, it seems like that might have been hurting them a bit, especially against the Defiant. So we have to see how they're becoming more acclimated to 2-2-2 and who they're going to have in that starting roster. We'll get to Shanghai in just a little bit, but let's go ahead and bring out their opponents first. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome them. It's the San Francisco Shock.
Almost universally agreed upon right now by analysts in the Overwatch League and outside of the Overwatch League is the Shock look good. They're probably the best team right now in Stage 4. The only team seeming to come close right now are the Washington Justice. But the Shock have an opportunity here to get revenge on the Dragons, who were able to prevent that reverse sweep. It was only a few weeks ago. Feels like a little bit longer now with all the changes coming into Stage 4. DPS lineup here, Rascal and Architect, the normal roster we start with the Shock. Usually sees Natra come in on Assault. Smurf also bringing up the tank line. So this is exactly the same lineup we've been seeing starting for the Shock all Stage 4 long.
Yep, just keeping with it seems to be giving them success. So don't fix what is not broken. Let's go ahead and bring out their opponents, though, looking to take them down again. It's the Shanghai Dragons.
Dragons have always been a team that has extra burdens on their shoulders. This roster in particular, first time Shanghai took a series win, first time playoffs, first time stage title, and now could be the first time they make it to season playoffs after being the defending champions. There's so much pressure on this roster to continue to perform, and that could be really mentally draining for a rookie squad that's just moved into the Overwatch League. Gamsu trying to keep things together, the leader, the veteran here in the LA studio. But, you know, the Dragons, they're definitely coming in as underdogs. They have not looked good. They had that upset loss you mentioned earlier against Toronto. So to bring this series back, to take this series against the Shock would not only be a massive upset, but I think a huge confidence boost for the Dragons, who, if they take this, could then make it into that top 6 with the remaining schedule.
Yeah, they have Ding and Youngjin starting off, going to be squaring up against Rascal and Architect, who have just been looking quite phenomenal. We saw the first time the Shock was really tooling around with their roster was in that final. That's when we saw Smurf come out, play over Super for the first time. We got to look at these guys, but it's been an upward trajectory for the substitutions here on the side of the Shock ever since then. Architect and Rascal especially have looked quite fantastic.
They certainly have. And they are the lineup that you want to go with when you're running the Mei Reaper in particular. Also Dive, you know, if you're going to be running the Genji, we have seen them run this roster as well. But it's usually Sinatra who comes in and plays the Tracer, plays the Doomfist when you're going full dive. On maps like Hanamura in particular, that's where we're really seeing Sinatra fielded. So as we move into this series, as we see these maps develop, I think there's a very good chance, I'd say extremely unlikely, we don't see both Sinatra and Super substituted in, especially if they're ahead.
I have to agree with that one. Sinatra, of course, one of our MVP candidates alongside Super. So, I heavily expect to see them throughout this series. Taking a look at our map set, though, presented by Toyota, we will be getting on the series, rather, on Busan, then move into Volskaya, Blizzard World, and Route 66 to round it all out. Last time these guys played, it went the distance. We went to 7 maps. Can we get 5 of them here today in the regular season?
It all started here in that grand finals, stage finals. Grand finals still coming up.
That's coming up. That's in Philadelphia.
Yep, that one is a big one. That one wasn't quite as big as the grand finals that are coming up, but in that finals we started with the lead for the Shanghai Dragons. The similar lineup, Smurf on the start. Dragons here already showing us in the locked-in heroes, the Pharah Doomfist, one of their trademarks, has not found the same success without DM on the starting lineup, without being able to run 3 damage players, and that's just not allowed in the current rule set for stage 4, so you're going to have to work with 2 of the 3. The Shock are going to run with a little bit more of a counter comp. They have the Mei, but they also have the McCree to knock the Pharah out of the sky. They blind counter, they expect the Pharah, and it's a great composition choice right out of the doors.
I mean, pretty easy to guess what Ding is going to be running, regardless of the map. So yeah, the McCree just going to be looking to shut down that Pharah. Also can work decently well against Youngjin on the Doomfist if he can get that flashbang timing nailed down. For now, though, Shanghai Dragons able to posture forward. Managed to get the first lockdown here on the point. Shock, however, not peeling back. Still going to be playing up into the front. Ding's already got a barrage online. Hello! Dives his way into the back. Will shut down Smurf. Hoping going down just moments before that. And Ding is the only one that will get taken down on the side of the Dragons. As I say that, Youngjin will get taken out.
He'll get
bit of a caster curse, but it's okay.
Yeah, and Ding will get rezzed here, so he's already going to be working towards another barrage. And Architect is going to have to play back for a second, wait for his team to get back up here. Barrier replaced by Smurf. And unfortunately, when you have to grab the point, you can't just operate on this barrier alone around the corner, because if you do, then Ding's just not going to give you line of sight. He's just going to wait. So you have to keep pushing forward, and on the way, you're going to take some of that rocket damage. Ding already up to 40%. Guarantee he's got the gold medal in damage.
Yep. Just surging forward with those barrages. Nano going to be thrown in onto Architect. Electric Cowboy going to be coming through, looking for a target. Sees Gamsu, knows that the barrier is going to be there. They try to get the pull up over top. Cannot quite do so. So it's a nice dink there onto Envy's mech to try to knock him out, but is unsuccessful so far. Still playing up here into the front, the Shock looking for a pick, looking for an avenue of approach as Architect is wrapping around behind the enemy team, trying to get an angle around those barriers, but so far has not been able to do so. And now he's under threat of this Meteor Strike. Youngjin going to be dropping into the back. Violet going for the Sleep Dart, doesn't hit, but the Flashbang will. And Architect finishes him off. Now the Blizzard going to be tossed down, but Envy snatches that one up. Takes that away from Rascal. Smurf now going to fall, and Shanghai Dragons looking better than ever, really. Looking to take this round 100-0 perhaps.
This is also against a composition that almost directly counters them. The Mei is also good against the Doomfist, but Youngjin is still hitting those rocket punches. Ding leading the server in damage, halfway nearly, with a few more shots here to a 3rd barrage. He demeched Choyobin in that last fight, and they have ult advantage heading into what could be the last one.
They had to try to tag, and I'm not sure if they're going to make it, and they do not. Just on the cusp was Moth, the closest one to get through, but just cannot do it. So Shanghai Dragons will take that 100-0 to start things off on Busan.
Ding doubling the damage currently of Architect and is at 51% of total damage done across the roster. We don't really talk about these stats or bring them into the forefront all too often, but when you're looking at one player of 6 doing over half the damage that your team has done in a single round, that's incredible.
Yeah, Youngjin didn't have to do very much, as it turns out.
Nope.
Ding was just absolutely clapping with that Pharah.
And now he's going to swap over to the Mei. You have a little bit less room to work with the Pharah here on Mecha Base. You're going to be going through choke points. There's a lot of these corridors where you don't really have that much airspace to work with. So it's going to be that mirrored composition, the May Reaper. This is where the Shock have found a ton of success so far here in Stage 4.
Walls coming up, Hulk just pulling the Shock together. Youngjin plays up into the front, trying to break down that barrier, is able to do so. And is getting a lot of damage through. Rascal nearly taken down. Does manage to stay alive for a little bit longer. Another Hulk keeping everybody grouped up on the side of the Shock. Not a single pellet from these shotguns. Out from Youngjin getting wasted. Choi Hyobin going to be knocked out of the mech. The Coalescence from Violet a little bit too late to try to keep that one intact. Will be the drop down here over towards the point, which has since unlocked. Without that Diva, can't really mitigate too much damage. But trying to get a pop, and that's going to be one right there. Rascal finds a headshot on a Youngjin. Does manage to take him down. Ding trying to capitalize, get Youngjin as soon as he comes out of the ice block, is able to do so. And now has the Blizzard available, tosses that one down onto the point, where Smurf is melting low. Down barrier does come through, however, from Moth, trying to keep the team alive. And now will be answered for by Coma as they go for the extended fight, having locked down this point. Self-destruct from Envy, not going to be able to find anything, but no punish onto the Baby Diva, so makes it back in safely.
Youngjin's so close to the Death Blossom, but he can't get into range.
Architect is right there as well, finally has that one online, will go ahead and use it. The May wall actually comes up, and Youngjin, with his, comes up for 3. It's a little bit better, it would seem. Shanghai Dragons will be able to hold this point.
That wall not doing him any favors there, coming out from Rascal. Unfortunately, Architect kind of getting split off. Let's take a look at Youngjin's 3K here once again. He actually is able to get the teleport off into Chaos, and a lot of this comes through due to the fact that the wall from Rascal not only blocked Architect from getting much Death Blossom damage on him, but prevented his team from seeing the teleport there to the other side.
Overall, it's a bit of a miscommunication perhaps on the side of the Shock, unable to set that play up. Coalescence rolling through, Smurf trying to stay alive, the spam healing coming out. They actually will be able to keep him in the fight at least for now. Still so dangerously close to losing out on that main tank. Now Violent going to be using the Coalescence of his own, but Coma's got the sound barrier ready to go as they try to sustain through the fight right here in front of the opening, but Architect was right around the side of Ding, manages to take him down. Blizzard is available. If the rest of Shanghai can hold out long enough, perhaps he can rejoin, but with Gamsu going down, things start looking better and better for the Shock on this reapproach. Might not even have to use their own ultimates. It seems like they will be able to hold on to those. So a Blizzard and the Death Blossom available for the Shock on this defense now.
And perhaps most importantly, they also have the sound barrier, because if this hold goes the way they want it to, they can use the sound barrier instead of the damage ultimates there, the Blizzard and the Death Blossom, to hold the choke, threaten those ultimates, and then of course save them if they get that exchange, because Coma doesn't have a counter sound barrier, so they can win that fight that way, then save those ultimates for the next choke point fight. They have so many options. They could also use the damage ultimates instead. But a lot of teams will use the sound barrier, depending on the situation.
Attacked right up here into the front, will Wraith walk away. And Ding's going to be forced into the ice block already. Coalescence now out from Luffy. Those are going to be tossed in by Rascal, and you can see Architect going for a similar play as he TPs into the fray here. Ding going to be taken down. Architect says, you know what, don't have to use the Death Blossom. Fight's still looking pretty good for us.
The end goal is just to use as few ultimates as possible to hold here, and it's just the Blizzard, not the sound barrier. They made that choice because of this choke point fight the Dragons gifted them. And you don't have much of a choice as the Dragons in this case, because you can go through one choke point or another. So Blizzard ends up being great here. It's also faster building than the sound barrier overall. Dragon's gonna get a different angle here. They're gonna try to flip around this right side.
Yep, working their way out. Maywall's coming up from both sides. Dragon's not really gonna get caught out, however. There's Architect again, Wraith Walk going to be used. Coalescence rolling here for Violet. Sound barrier now coming in right as Gamsu gets taken down. Youngjin tries to go in with the Death Blossom. Just gonna get chewed up, however, by those shields out from Moth. Now the answering one here from Architect. Takes down Youngjin, just gonna be the solo frag. But that's gonna be the Shock maintaining control of the point, taking the lead.
A little bit unnecessary, that Death Blossom there from Architect, but, you know, we can't complain about it too much. The Shocker in pole position to take this round right now. Ding did not build a Blizzard in that last fight, so this fight's going to have to go long. They're going to have to use their sound barrier in order to build the Blizzard, and that's going to make this very difficult.
Luffy going low, uses that healing orb to keep everybody else topped up. Ding.
It's actually Luffy, yeah, who keeps them alive.
Nearly there. Blizzard now going to be online, throws that one down here over towards the high ground. On the staircase, Ryobin now going to be knocked out of the mech, drop low for Luffy. Trying to keep everybody else alive, but there's just too much damage. That close up from a Reaper onto Coma, so he will fall. Self-destruct's out from both teams. The Baby Diva, however, on the side of the Shock is going to be the one taken down. Now Smurf going to fall as well. Ding going to be traded out. Now Youngjin taken down. Violet with the Coalescence gets rid of Gamsu. Envy's going to be knocked out of the mech, and we're in the overtime. So it seems like San Francisco Shock will be taking us to a third and final round downtown to decide who will be the victors on Busan.
Big plays there from Luffy, keeping everybody alive, getting them across the catwalk, dropping onto the point where Como was ready with the sound barrier. However, Rascal eliminates the sound barrier, freezes Coma in animation, and that's something that we're seeing a lot right now from really good Mei players, especially when they know the support ult advantage is on their opponent's side, is you freeze that Lucio, prevent the sound barrier from touching the ground, doesn't activate. Coma gets headshot, and that's the entire premise of that attack for the Shanghai Dragons, is use the Coalescence, use Luffy's healing output, get across the catwalk, then use the barrier advantage you have to set up for a good Blizzard fight. But it's all shut down by one sick play from Rascal, just targeting down the Lucio. And it's going to be the Pharah battle, this time Architect going directly to the Widow. Not going to leave anything to chance here, not going for the McCree, wants full range capability.
Yep, already some nice shots going in. Luffy nearly taken down just on the approach. Youngjin going to be stunned up, pulled in by Cheoban, and will be eliminated. Flip over to the side, Architect going for some fancy spin work there, it would seem. He tries to line that shot up, is unable to find it. And as I say that, it's the next angle and is able to punish Ding. Jump up over the top, nearly the shot there on Coma, but instead it's going to be Violet coming up with it. And Architect gets the next shot, lining them up one after the other. Shock starting off this third and final round of Busan with a bang.
Architect saying, Striker's not coming out, not in this series, not on my watch. Incredible Widow play there from the start, gets the high ground and is able to operate around the halts coming through from Smurf. Ding swapping over to the Mei, Youngjin to the Hanzo, and they're already so behind in ultimates. They don't have a counter to Rascal's Pharah, by the way, and he's got Barrage. They don't have a defensive matrix, so Rascal should be able to smash this next team fight. You know, barring a stray headshot, I mean, he's got full control.
Well, already Luffy going to be eliminated. The Barrage coming in from above does take care of Envy, but the rest of the fight going to be cleaned up by the remainder of the Shock, and even the res onto Rascal puts him right back into the action.
They weren't running a composition that could really deal with that Barrage, so the Dragons are happy to, as happy as you can be, to just walk in, take the Barrage, and then reset. Youngjin, though, is going to swap again. Another swap here onto the Reaper.
Pull there on Ding as well, forces out the ice block as they wrap around the backside of the point.
That's actually pretty significant because you can't really get up there in the front line until that is off of cooldown.
Gamsu is taking so much damage on the approach now. Youngjin going to get picked off. Barely able to get anything done towards that Death Blossom. Coma gone. They will lose Cheoban in the front line, but there's no supports here for the Shanghai Dragons. Still going to be using the Supercharger here in the middle of the point. They managed to kill off Smurf. Supercharger disappears just after that. Gamsu can only dance around that barrier so much.
In the meta where the Dragons were dominating, it was very pick-based. It was fast fights, headshots, barrage damage, rocket kills coming through, Doomfist. In this meta, it's very slow-paced. So sometimes you overreact as a main tank adjusting to a new meta. Dropping out a supercharger like that isn't going to turn the fight around when you've already lost it.
Good tag there, forces Rascal to reroute, but he is still in position to try to set up for that barrage. Pull comes through, Gamsu going to be gone. Jin does TP down onto the point. He's only at 18% start that sentence towards that Death Blossom. And here, barrage coming in for the side of Rascal. We'll be able to clean up two on the back end of the ultimate. We're into overtime already, seeming like 100-0 here as OT will start ticking away. Gamsu sent swapped over onto this Wrecking Ball. Has to swing his way out, and will just get taken down, and that'll be it. No one else close enough. The Shock looking a little rough at the start in the first round of Sanctuary, but come back in and take Busan 2-1.
Dragons on that final round just really not able to adjust to the Widow Pharah. Ironic that San Francisco would take out the Dragons on the first map here using their very own composition, the Pharah Widow, a composition the Dragons popularized and perfected in Stage 3, and it's the Shock who run it to take them out in the first map.
Well, one up right now are the Shock. Let's see if the Shanghai Dragons can give us a tie when we come back for the next map.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Meteor strike.
That's right, as we mentioned before, the grand finals in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center coming up quickly. September 29th. Make sure you guys get your tickets. We don't yet know who is going to be there, but we still know that it's going to be an incredible occasion that you do not want to miss.
Nope, definitely don't want to miss it. We're still getting down to the nitty-gritty on who is going to make it to that top 6. We'll have a chance to fight there.
Well, this team right now on your screen doing a pretty good job of becoming a serious contender for that grand finals appearance.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about the San Francisco Shock. We are headed to Volskaya here, so that explains partially why we don't see Sinatra subbed in here, because it's not really been the map that he's been coming in on. But going back to the discussion about San Francisco Shock making potentially the finals, winning the whole thing, is they've not only dominated in 3-3, you know, GOATs, you know, Reinhardt Zarya meta, but they're also now looking very dominant in a 2-2-2 lock meta, and that's something not a lot of fans were sure about going to this. But if you look back at the history of how Shock played last year and how good Sinatra is, how good Rascal and Architect are as a DPS duo historically, it's not a big shocker that they would come out and do very well in this role-locked meta. And to be able to do great in both bodes very well for a great storyline if they were to take it all. And they're very close. They're hot on the heels of Vancouver Titans here as well, taking that #1 spot for the Pacific Division. So a lot of exciting times here if you're a Shock fan.
Yep, certainly are looking for it, just like Architect is looking for that opening pick. We'll not be able to find it though. Even if he had, in all likelihood, Coma would have been able to get a res off. Seems like though he will be sticking with the Widowmaker after a bit of consideration.
Gonna make it very difficult for this defensive Pharah. There's no counter Widow, you know? You have that protection when you have Widow Pharah, but when you're when you're Doomfist Pharah, you can't deal with Architect's Widow.
Unless you're diving way into the back. Already though, first casualty is gonna be Envy's mech. Don't get popped out of that one as Architect pops up over the top looking for a shot. The body tag there onto Ding. Can't quite finish him off, but we'll be able to get the Baby Diva now. Gamsu left open and exposed will get finished off as Rascal comes up with back-to-back hits. Gets rid of the pharmacy and just says, hey guys, let's go ahead, move on over to the point. Wolfie doing his best, gets that kill there with the Bionate, but the res is in and the point will get locked down.
This feels like a parody. This feels like a joke in some ways. I mean, really, Shanghai's best map, Pharah Widow, Volskaya, in Stage 3. Got into the playoffs, a lot of those wins on this map through to the finals. And now the Shock are running their composition, obviously the variation of 2-2-2, and crushing them on their best map.
I mean,
it's Rascal and Architect.
They've only lost on this, what, once, I believe is what it said there at the beginning. 6-1, 7-1 record overall. And yeah, Shock right now making it look easy. Shock is coming down still, trying to knock Gamsu out of the fight before the barrage is going to be used by Rascal. He'll just go ahead and use it right on top of Ding's head. Gets the double kill onto Gamsu, takes Envy out of the mech, finishes off the baby Diva, now pushes into the back, and now he's looking to finish off the Ana. One more hit will do it, and there you go. Fades away, goes right back over onto the point. It's going to be contested there for a moment as Koma takes to the skies with the Valkyrie. You can see he's cut off. He's going to be taken down. The Mei tries to get onto the point, but Ding instantly finished off. Second tick already snatched up. Envy out of the mech again. Gamsu gone. Meteor Strike comes through. That means they're going to get free percentage here on the point. Youngjin will hit the ground, taken out of the fight. And there you go. Cap rolls in just about. Just a little bit more. They'll get rid of Koma. And they'll just snatch it up from beneath the Dragon's feet.
Since his time on Kongdu Panthera, through his time in the 2018 season, Rascal's always been an incredible Pharah, overshadowed in the 2019 season by Ding on the other side. This time beats him in the duel, crushes, carries his way into defeating the composition that Shanghai made, using that to win this. Incredible. Nuts.
4:38, the time to beat. Let's see if the Dragons are up to the task.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Schutzengel ist da.
Resistance.
Meteor strike.
And we are back from the break, which was just about as quickly as it took for the Shock to finish their attack there on Volskaya. 4:38 established in the time bank. Fantastically done by them.
For the Dragons, they're going to have to break through this Pharah Widow.
Isn't that their hashtag, breakthrough?
It is. See if they can put the hashtag in this map, because when you look at compositions right now, I mean, the Shock, they're running something that is very strong on this map. They've already dominated with it on attack. They're going to continue to run it on defense. Dragons may have to put Youngjin onto a McCree here, because the Pharah Widow is going to really crush Mei Hanzo. I mean, Youngjin can't really poke out without being under threat of Architect's headshots, and the Mei isn't going to really be able to get into range without getting chunked down by Rascal as they head through this choke. I mean, compositionally, they're at a mismatch here, especially with how well the Shock are running this so far.
Already breaking down that barrier and forcing Smurf back over the point. Good shot goes through there onto Rascal, but he is able to peel back, keeping himself safe for now. Jump up over the top from Architect, looking for a pick. Can't quite find one. Good shots coming in. Rascal nearly taken down, and Youngjin does get him in the end. So Yovan as well going to be eliminated. Moth puts the Pharah back into the fight. Ding nearly gets picked off. Moth now himself get pulled back in, taken down. Fantastic stuff from the Dragons, not looking to suffer another loss on this map, it would seem. Hook here from Envy, not gonna have the hit. Violet's still looking like he's in a bad position. Rascal tries to save him with a barrage, but this time it's not really gonna work out.
Smurf just trying to buy some time here.
Architect finds
coming back, yeah.
Luffy is gone, but they clean up that Orisa. And yeah, Architect is the closest one to be able to tag the point.
They will have an immortality field here.
Choyobin runs his way back in, catches Envy off guard, actually manages to find the kill. Gamsu's down to 156 HP. Choyobin takes a breather,
Architect.
actually finishes him off.
This is insane. Architect lives. Architect lives, pops the Inversight. They had Mob swap over the Batiste. They have an immortality field. Choyobin comes in alone. And Architect sets this up. He lives with less than 10 health in the corner. And now he's got the Inversight. Absolutely nuts. This is a crazy map we're watching right now from the Shock. This is insane. So Architect lives here. Now he's got line of sight advantage again. Rascal's on an unfortunate Tracer swap here. Not going to be great against what the Dragons are running, but he had to tag the point. He had to rush back in for the defense. So the Dragons have a nice advantage in terms of comp here. They're going to have the ult advantage as well. Almost 6 of them ready. Let's see what the Shock could do this time.
Good angle here from Architect, looking for the shot. Supercharger going to be taken down, so Gamsu loses out on that one. Nearly the kill there onto Rascal, but now Smurf going to be eliminated as the Blizzard was used by Ding. Choyobin getting the nano, but it's going to be bionated, frozen up. Can't use that whole hog, will be taken down here in the end, but they're not on the point yet. 57% is what they were able to accrue
Rascal's
last
got a
time.
health pack.
Rascal, he's got the health pack. He picks that one up, uses the recall, bumps himself back up to 131 HP. Pulse bomb nearly online, but I don't think it's going to be enough to turn this one on its head unless everybody stands on top of each other.
The Architect is a little bit out of position to get damaged on back there. He's just going to reset, but that was inspiring delay from the Shock.
Already, though, guaranteed themselves a better time bank if the Dragons finish the map.
Yeah.
So still a very good start. Fantastic initial hold with that comeback from the Shock. But now we have to see what the Dragons can get done over at point.
So the Dragons,
right nearly there.
They have an ult advantage with the swaps coming through for the Shock. They need to get this with their first or second push, really. But the advantage they have, they need to push it. They need to know it. Hook misses here, and that's going to delay this quite significantly. The Dragons don't have that Blizzard, so this push is to earn it.
Good wall there from Rascal. Keeps them safe, but the
Here we
pull
go.
comes in. Nano going to be tossed down onto Envy. Takes a breather, and Choyobin just doesn't stand a chance. The Bionade coming through from Luffy. Let's get taken down. Dragon Strike used by Youngjin on the right-hand flank, but doesn't find any picks. It's going to be Smart, actually, who comes up with the kill on the Ding, but now Envy makes up for that one. Getting the pull in onto the enemy. Orisa pops the whole hog, just shoves everybody back off the point. Architect rejoining the fight with that Hanzo, comes up with 2. PS2O going to be eliminated, but now Ball pulled back into the break, going to be taken down, but here's Choyobin using the Amp Matrix with the whole hog, takes down Gamsu in the Supercharger.
This is just immaculate Overwatch from the San Francisco Shock. Taking every risk. They are making holds happen with so few tools. Just doing everything exactly right. It's instinct they're really playing with right now. Not set plays, not set strategies, not what they prepared, but just making these really tight holds happen. They have turned the ult economy on its head. Ding finally has this Blizzard. Took him so long to build it. No Diva on the other side.
Bionade on 2 there.
He can't get in here, so now they're gonna have to wait.
They have the res.
Rez comes through, but even still, finding his way into this point is gonna be so difficult, especially because Rascal's at the flanking spot. They have to deal with him.
Can at least breathe easy. The Choyobin's still on the Roadhog and not the Diva, who cannot eat the Blizzard. Speaking of which, Rascal gonna be using his own fortified popped by Gamsu as he tries to make his way out, but the wall is still there. Rascal's still pushing. Can't quite get the kill. Immortality field. The ice block going to be used. He will get knocked out of that one. Up his way up over the top, and now he is exposed, taken down. Not going to be enough from that nano boost. Try to keep him alive. He finds the kill. Wall comes up. They try to block off the tanks here on the left-hand side of the point. Siege Smurf trying to dance his way back through, but Youngjin comes up with 2. Architect and Moth both going to be taken down. The freeze there on Choyobin. The headshot to seal the deal. 82.7% here for the Dragons, and it seems like they should be able to make this one happen. Finish him off, get rid of Rascal with the Tracer, and get the finish on B. 151 for the Shanghai Dragons.
Gamsu took so much aggro, he took so many of the cooldowns, he pulled so much of the attention away for the Shock there, and they were able to convert all of those cooldowns used onto the Orisa there into the capture. But as you mentioned, it's a much worse time bank, so this is still, they're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah, over twice as much time set up for the Shock for these OT rounds. Shanghai Dragons going to be first on the attack. All right, straight back into it. Shock. Looking like we're just going to be seeing the Mei Widow setup on that defense. As we take a look at Youngjin here in the final moments of the Shanghai attack.
Just as soon as you see Architect climb up his headshot, or not headshot, but body shot there with a Storm Arrow, then you see the jump boots used, the exo boots used, and then another shot right to the body. So double kill there for Youngjin, helping to close it out. Critical kill there onto Batiste, because he's one of the best delayers. Dragon's once again going to run this Mei Hanzo into the Widow, but it's not the far from Rascal this time. He's going to respect them a little bit more this time and toss the Mei out there.
Yeah, pulled way back this time. Are they shocked with this defense? And Architect has that crossfire set up.
Halt snipes, very powerful combo. Makes body shotting easy, headshotting easier.
Yep. Dig there onto Envy, then follows up on the Gamsu. He'll have to drop down, pick up this mini pack. Still taking damage, however. Good tracking of this Widowmaker from the side of the Shanghai Dragons, but can't quite get rid of him. Wall used there, and Youngjin actually finds the snipe. Sonic Arrow headshot, gets rid of Architect. Now he's got this back angle. And see, again, Bob, didn't you learn from the last time you tried this on B? Gets taken down as soon as he leaps up to try to contest. Sleep Dart will connect. Violet trying to spare himself a little bit. Finds himself in a very similar position now, fighting on the staircase. Bionade will go down, but Violet will fall as well, and the Shanghai Dragons will be able to get a cap on A. Plus 30 seconds now, 1 minute and 10 to the time bank.
And as they head into B, they're going to have nano boost. They're going to be able to build a Dragon Strike. The big question is, will Ding be able to get a Blizzard? Because that's very unlikely, especially considering that Rascal has his own defensive Blizzard. If they can force him to use it on this push, the second push can give them a shot at B. But if they wait too long here, and they only get one push because they're trying to build their own Blizzard, and the Rascal just beats them to the punch, very unlikely they'll be able to take the second point.
Unable to pull in Smurf there, Fortify used. Blizzard coming down from Rascal, the Dragon Strike out from Youngjin. Does manage to find Smurf, the rest is going to be there on the Gamsu. Now Rascal going to be gone. Coma eliminated as well as Envy. This Architect with the Storm Arrows takes down that Hawk. 25 seconds remaining. Dragons need to exit now.
And this is the problem with waiting so long on that first push and being so passive and hoping for the ideal fight, hoping for the ideal Dragon Strike, is you lose so much time. And now they won't be able to touch with 6. They're going to have to stagger in, and that's going to make this almost impossible to take a single tick. Dragon Strike's ready for the shock.
Trying to get the pull there. It'll just be Gamsu going in the tag, but the wall comes up to cut him off. Dragon Strike over to the side as the whole hug comes through from Trey Hoban. The walls are still raised. Ding has managed to get himself into the corner, makes it into the ice block this time, but is going to be walled off from the rest of the team. Bionaded and taken down as Violet finds himself a double kill. He as well with a sliver of HP. Dragon Strike rolls through, might have gotten some kills there at the end, but it doesn't matter because no one's on the point, and that's where it stops for the Shanghai Dragons.
For the Shanghai Dragons, a defense will tie this series, but given how the start was of the Rascal earlier, I tweeted out he had almost 20,000 damage scaled to a per 10 minutes, you know, what do you want to call this? Basically, if he scaled from damage to 10, it was nearly 20,000, right? So he was on pace for a crazy amount of damage, right? I don't remember exactly how much it was on that one attack, but that's not really important. The rate of damage is actually the thing that we focus in on, right? And for Rascal to have a performance like that again here, with 4.5 minutes on the clock, the Shanghai Dragons are going to have to do something much better here on this defense, or not be steamrolled if they want to have a chance to bring this to a tied series. Ding is running the Pharah for the start here, but Youngjin will be on the Hanzo, so no Pharah. Widow,
yeah,
a little bit more tank busting potential here with this Hanzo. So it's not going to be, you know, just purely for backline shots or trying to expect that the Shock would run their own Pharah. It's a safer pick overall because you can, you know, break down the barrier, you can break down the Orisa, the Hog, much easier with this Hanzo than you can a Widow. And on the side of the Shock, they're going to keep this Zenyatta, it looks like here. Oh, okay.
Yep, they see.
See, this is the problem. When you're the attacker, you have this advantage where you can change your composition. And now you've got the counter to the Pharah.
Yep, as long as those shots register. Envy taking a lot of damage already. No Bionade lined up from Violet, however, so can't fully punish. But now Luffy will be eliminated. See if Coma can get into a position to try to get a res. Still going to be hovering here in the air as Ding gets taken down. Rascal will get pulled in, eliminated by Envy, but Youngjin gone already. 4 members taken away from the side of the Shanghai Dragons here on this defense. We saw a fairly miraculous hold initially from the Shock, but I don't think it's going to happen for the Dragons this time out. San Francisco Shock will just go ahead, lock down this point, and have a plethora of time in the bank.
With some people call fast spawn, you know, the new respawn mechanic for Assault. You know, these aren't stagger kills that we see onto the Dragons here. They will be able to mount a defense, but unfortunately, 4 minutes on the clock, Barrage ready. They have to swap Envy over to the Diva for that reason alone. This map looks all but done.
Yep. A lot of initial poke damage coming through onto the Shock, so it's slowing them up here, at least for the moment.
Ding has his own Barrage, and the Shock don't have a Diva, so he needs to be aggressive. He needs to use this. Oh, taken out.
Yep, Architect manages to find the shot. Barrage going to be coming through. Rascal will be put to sleep, but already Kamsu going to be eliminated. Architect just dodging to the side casually. Will just make sure that he doesn't get clipped by that Dragon Strike. Sleep goes forward here onto Envy. There's an Architect under fire from Coma. We got that headshot onto him as well. Envy now going to be eliminated. Youngjin taken down. Kamsu comes back over onto the point, drops the supercharger for himself. And up for Ding, but can't quite get any damage through. Can't break down Smurf's barrier. It'll just be cleanup time, and now they're in onto the point. Somebody's got to tag through, but even so, even with a Wrecking Ball, can't make it happen in time, and the Shock will just go ahead and move up 2-0.
This is great Overwatch we are watching from the Shock. This is the best play we have seen in Stage 4.
Clean.
So clean, very good. Feels like I'm in a dream right now, just watching all these headshots come through, the barrages, the rocket damage, the Shock. Poised to take this series, starting with a 2-0 lead.
Yep, have that start now. Looking like a reverse sweep situation for the Shanghai Dragons. Let's see if they can pull off another one here today when we come back after halftime.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Schutzengel ist da. Sterbende heroes never die. This is not the end. Hello there.
The Shock are hoping to avenge their loss to the Dragons in the Stage 3 finals, and they're sitting pretty so far in this one. It's San Francisco up 2-0 over Shanghai at the brink. What's up, everybody? Malik, back at it again. I got the Brits with me here. Guys, San Francisco Shock, this is arguably the toughest test that they've faced so far this stage, given that they lost to the Shanghai Dragons in the Stage 3 finals, and Shanghai, they've been playing DPS players for a while.
Yeah.
And so far, they're faring pretty well.
I mean, it should be the toughest match on paper, but they played against Gladiators. And Gladiators are
that's
the
right.
second best team right now, maybe even the best team. We don't know as it stands. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an air after today's performance, you don't know. But again, this meta is up in the air in terms of what team is currently the most potent, I guess, on it. But the Shock, a very good, strong showing from them straight out the gates.
Right, this is a formidable opponent. Let's start off with Busan. It looked like the Shanghai Dragons kind of had their number right off the bat, right?
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, Ding started with a rocket barrage after only about 10 seconds, which was unreal. And they'd fielded Architect on the McCree to try and shut him down, but it didn't really work. It was a nice try, and in theory it makes sense, but Ding just wasn't offering in the angles. The problem is, as soon as Ding goes over to the Mei, it goes wrong for Shanghai.
It's problematic, right? And it's just not working out for the Shanghai Dragons. This is a difficult game. San Francisco Shock, Shanghai Dragons, a lot of S's, a lot of Q's going on.
We were looking at their stats beforehand, and Zoe brought it up on the desk. They have a 20% win rate with Ding on Mei at the moment. That's shocking. Now, they didn't play as bad as that number would lead you to believe, but it still wasn't good enough to be able to get them any kind of value. And here again, Architect plays a Widowmaker this time, and this time it does shut Ding down. He dies, he gets rezzed, he dies again, and the Architect puts so much pressure on him, he was forced to swap over to the Mei again, and they lose again. It just seems like you take Ding out of the fight, you win.
Yeah, you force him off of his comfort picks, his comfort heroes a lot of the times, and it will just hand you the win in these scenarios. And I gotta say, I've been steadily impressed with San Francisco Shock. They seem to have a good idea of what they want to do, and I think this as well, it comes down, we always credit the coaching staff in this regard as well. You can definitely tell a lot of the players on the San Francisco Shock, they've been taught to think for themselves in the moment as well. What switches they need to make, what adaptations they need to make. Very impressive showing from them, honestly, looking like one of the strongest teams. Would you say the strongest team so
Yes,
far?
I would say with this showing today, the San Francisco Shock are starting to cement themselves as the best team at the moment in Stage 4, because we wanted to see that consistency, right? And they've been nothing but consistent in this match. They've been shutting down the Dragons left, right, and center.
Yeah, I mean, even moving forward to Volskaya, it goes beyond just the mechanical skill. I think the collective game sense of the San Francisco Shock as far as anyone else's.
I'm not going to lie, this was an unreal game from Choi, of all people as well. I mean, he was subtly carrying this entire game. Rascal had the flashy plays, of course.
I mean,
this was sick. Yes, yes, it was absolutely
nasty.
Sick. But Choi was consistently saving these points as well with a lot of his individuals plays. Yes, of course, you got Rascal playing the Farah and almost competing head-to-head with Ding in a lot of these categories.
I mean, out-competing him, honestly, if
yes,
we're going to be real.
Which is absolutely ridiculous to even think about. I mean, we were heralding Ding as probably the best Farah in the world not too long ago.
I mean, I still think that he is. One game doesn't really alter that, but Rascal's certainly showing that when you have a great team behind you that really understands the meta, you can be empowered to absolutely dominate an opponent that might even be slightly more mechanically skilled. And this whole game, honestly, has been a clinic from the Shock. I think Wolf has been very impressed when he was casting it. I've been very impressed watching it as well. We want a team like the Shock to come out and dominate and show that it's not just that the meta has changed, now things are up in the air and it's all variable.
Right.
No, they slaughtered stages 2 and 3, and now they're here to slaughter stage 4 as well, and potentially the grand final.
Yeah, and they're doing it here in stage 4 without their potential MVP candidates, Super and Sinatra, who are up in the running for our team over MVP. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so moving forward, I believe, Josh, if I'm not mistaken, that you got a little insight for us to take us a little deeper into this match.
Exactly. I've got a little insight powered by Intel, which is going to build off Bren's point, actually, about Choyobin being the player that's silently carrying these kind of games. So this is the opening fight, right? And here they're running Orisa Hog, the San Francisco Shock, against Orisa Diva. Now, a couple of important things when you're running the Diva on the defense. It's supposed to put pressure on the Farah Mercy combo, but it also needs to eat these halts that are coming in, because otherwise the halt hook combos are going to be devastating from the Shock. So Envy manages this. This is him eating the first halt, but he steps out from behind the shield as Choyobin rotates, and they find a hook. Now this is devastating, because as soon as he gets hooked in, he gets bionated and killed, and that allows Rascal to move forwards and has all of this space because he can no longer be pressured by the Diva. He's now just taking a direct one-on-one. Now with the pilot Diva now out of her mech as well, it allows Choyobin as well as Smurf to just overwhelm him on the floor as well. They're going to run forwards and they're going to take out Envy, and they're also going to try and take out the Orisa here as well and just trample him over. At the same time as Rascal takes this Farah head-to-head, this has all been opened up by that first hook onto the Diva. The Diva is such a pivotal player that this has all been opened up within a second from that play, and it allows Rascal to have this insane play. Now look at Choyobin here. He's looking for hooks. He's trying to throw out the halts. finds his hook instantly. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Bionade comes down, finds the D-Mech. That cues Rascal to push in immediately. They get pressure on the people on the ground because that's their job for the Roadhog. And then you see Rascal, he's putting pressure in the sky as well. Ding no longer has that player to back him up. So he's just going very aggressive, trying to get as much damage as he can. Knows he's going to be uncontested. Lands sick rockets to complete the play. Just beautiful coordination as well as mechanical skill from the Shock. I mean, that is so good.
Cerebral excellence is what I like to call that, man. It was just so inside baseball. All right, so guys, it looks like the San Francisco Shock, they're running away with this one. What can the Dragons do to regain their footing?
Well, part of the issue is as well, Choi is getting away with murder in a lot of these engagements. And it's not just the plays that we just saw there, it's also him clutching up a lot of these points as well.
Yeah.
He's coming in the overtime or whenever they're being essentially on the back foot, comes out, gets a great whole hog off. Choi needs to be shut down, for one. But also, Ding is getting outmatched as well individually. And I mean, that is partly because Choi Hyobin is doing such a good job of shutting down various members of Shanghai. But it comes down to as well, this is Shanghai Dragons' play style. It's having DPS players who can play to a very high level and sort of outskill almost, you know, in the 1v1s against their enemies. They're not doing that here. They're really not having as good of a game. So it's going to take Shanghai Dragons DPS players, Ding, to really step it up. Youngjin as well, they decided to field him instead of
Yes,
DM.
that's the point that I'd like to hit on as well. I would really like to see DM back in the lineup, honestly, especially when you're playing a map like Volskaya. Try maybe even putting Youngjin on the Roadhog and playing more of that rather than the Diva. And then you still have your trio of players that were so hot last stage. It's a difficult position for them because they can't field all three like they used to be able to, but that's a potential for them going forwards.
All right, well, you heard it from the analysts. The Shanghai Dragons, they have a whole half to make these adjustments because right now the San Francisco Shock, they're one map away from getting their revenge. We're going to see if they're able to do that right after the break.
And that's Dallas setting themselves up for a quick take here.
Coming from a small town to like a big city like this, it's definitely different, but also cool and exciting. It sucks like leaving my friends and stuff behind and family, but like I knew what I wanted to do and this is what I want to do in life.
Trill nails the shatter.
I just want to have fun and just do something that makes me happy, right? And this makes me happy. Getting to like travel, meet new people. I feel like this is like a once in a lifetime sort of thing. So like I just want to take it and just like run with it as long as I can.
Team up for special attack. Team up for special attack. Cease your resistance.
Shanghai Dragons, our 8th seed team, going up against the San Francisco Shock. The Shanghai Dragons moving up 3-0.
This is looking to be a very one-sided finals.
We knew we had the enough to reverse sweep, so we went to the 4th map like really confident.
And San Francisco Shock will take us to one final map, looking for the reverse sweep.
도라도 맵에서는 내가 자신 있어 하는 그런 미도 메이커를 들게 되니까 그러다 보니 이제 그냥 쉽게 이겼던 것 같아요.
The Shanghai Dragons, for the first time, will be your Stage 3 champions!
이번 샘플한전에서 제가 둠피스트로 아마 할 거는 상대방의 갈비뼈를 다 부수지 않을까, 우클릭으로.
4-0, us. Just the easy 4-0, that's it.
This is a terrifying San Francisco Shock.
And the Dragons are showing up huge.
Well, some bold words there from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. I mean, feeling confident after being able to take them down in Stage 3, but so far here in Stage 4, in this series, it's not been going their way. Youngjin, even with the Doomfist, trying to break their ribs. Seems like the Shock saw the video, they put on a steel plate, and they're just breaking his hand instead.
I mean, Rascal is playing out of his mind. The halftime show really pointed out how well Choi Hyobin has been doing.
Yep.
Not only did he make that huge play where he was able to hook Envy, but his delay there on A, where that initial hold that gave him the better of the time bank. But, I mean, the damage-dealing duo right now of Rascal and Architect is just absolutely crushing that of the Shanghai Dragons. Youngjin's not able to keep up right now, nor is Ding. DM is not on the cards because his hero pool doesn't suit the meta. He's not a very good Mei player, not an incredible Hanzo player by any means, so you've got to run this duo. There's no substitutions. Blizzard World here is going to be their last chance to bring this series back and prevent San Francisco from getting the revenge that they've been looking for since that Stage 3 final.
Well, moving forward, Blizzard World. This is where the Shanghai Dragons have to make their stand if they want to be able to turn this series around. A little bit of time to gather their thoughts and assess how they want to tackle this, but seems like it's going to be a lot of the same as far as their starting defense lineup, as Ding will be on the far end, Youngjin will be back on that Doomfist.
Dragons really need to figure out what composition they want to run. When you're running the defense, you have to, and they've spent their halftime doing this, no doubt, talking with Levy and the coaching staff. Figuring out a composition they want to run that's tough to counter, right? Because when the San Francisco Shock walk out of those gates, the first thing they'll notice is a flying Pharah, and that may prompt Architect to swap over to Widowmaker. He could also run the McCree. The Mei Hanzo has worked against Pharah in the past. See the check here for the Sombra. And as soon as they scout it, immediately, time to swap it up, bring on out the Ana and the Widow, two heroes that can knock the Pharah out of the sky. They're going to swap over to the Pharah themselves as well. And this composition is superior for the Shock.
It's the same thing that we just saw on Volskaya. To make their way through, but the pull down from Choi Hyobin secures the death here onto Ding. Bionade is there onto Youngjin, looking for the kill, and Rascal is able to find it. So already the damage dealers for the Shanghai Dragons being completely dismantled, as is Luffy, Coma, etc., etc. That'll be the extended wipe. That'll be point A.
This map of Blizzard World, the architecture around the point, and how there's this, kind of wall here on the edge, there's high grounds. It's not too different from Volskaya, in fact. And Shanghai run the same composition, you counter it, you come up big with the kills. As long as you're mechanically skilled enough to hit your shots and control space with this Widowmaker, you actually have the superior comp if you're the Shock here, because you have the right responses to your opponent's heroes.
Just truly surprised to not see the likes of DM subbed in, try to go for a double sniper setup. Shanghai Dragons just trying to run the same roster. Ding already going to be eliminated from the fight. Youngjin pulled back through. Rascal comes up with another kill, making it a third as Gamsu will be taken down as well. And he gets right up close and personal with Coma.
Rascal has 25% rocket accuracy, 1/4 of the rockets connecting. That's while he's spamming like this, by the way. So when he wants a kill, when he wants a hit with someone's near him, he's going to kill him. Shanghai swapping to the Mei Hanzo here, but the damage has been done. 6 ultimates up for the Shock.
Yep.
Full control of this choke point.
Ampersite rolling.
The Dragons on the defense have to attack this position. They will get a stray shot here onto Moth. That's a great start. No reses now.
Yep. Very solid pickup.
That's just the beginning. They're going to need more to take this back.
Yeah, 4 minutes and 21 seconds for the San Francisco Shock remaining on this attack. Rascal is poking around from multiple angles here, looking for the setup for that barrage.
Indy's not doing a great job taking care of his backline here against this Pharah, to be honest.
Bounces his way back into the fight. D-Matrix denies that last shot on the Supercharger as Rascal pushes his way into the back. Rockets coming down, looking to deny Envy that reback, but instead he's going to get bioed and taken down. Choyobin, however, still playing up near the cart. Pops that whole hog. The rest is going to be over onto Violet. As Architect gets taken down. Another headshot there from Youngjin. Getting rid of that sniper pressure. They will see Coma pulling through with the wall. Denies the shot. Nicely done there by Ding. Fantastic timing. And that's going to be the push forward. Shanghai Dragons finally stopping this cart.
They've taken control. They have a Blizzard almost online and the Dragon Strike. Because they finally have control of this choke point itself, the high ground around it, Rascal can't reasonably continue to run the Pharah. He's going to end up being out-ult economied, you know, to make up a Esports Overwatch word, because his barrages won't be able to hold water against multiple Blizzards coming through and this choke being controlled, so it's better to go for a faster building ultimate here, safer ultimate.
Dragon Strike going to be tossed in. Mortality Field already there from Moth. Take a little bit of damage on the way out. Smurf will take a heck of a lot of it on the way in. Youngjin melting him with those storm arrows. And you can see the Dragons getting a little saucy. They're going to push up very close back over to the archway. Now the Shock are so disconnected from the cart. Have to recontest just for this entry point.
Shanghai, I mean, they have the ability to just back up now. Don't want to overextend. They already have this choke controlled. If they can just keep control of this high ground, prevent heroes like Architect, you know, players like Architect from getting up onto the high ground and challenging them here, then they can operate around the cart itself and use this Blizzard. So if they lose control of the high ground, then things get dicey. Choyobin onto the Diva now. And eat onto the Blizzard would be massive, and he gets
That's it! Oh man, calling for it! Choyobin delivers! Comes that one up. Now Ding gonna be taken down and be knocked out of the mech. Fantastically done by Choyobin, but Ding gonna be put back into the fight. Is that gonna be enough for them to turn something around here? Perhaps it is. As Gamsu manages to find a kill onto Smurf. Architect still sitting in the back, taking some shots over towards Youngjin. Rascal's gonna be lost. Now no main tank, no secondary damage. The Shock again gonna be held at bay.
I mean, that was actually incredible they were able to hold that. After the Blizzard was absorbed, they were not even using their high ground advantage. They were basically fighting at point blank range. They turned things around. If he's gonna have another self-destruct here, use that last one to help zone the Shock out here. Violet over onto the Zenyatta, which is an odd choice given that they're not running the Roadhog here. Can be great against Blizzards, the Transcendence, but you're not going to get much value otherwise with the Discord without having that hook ability. I mean, you've got extra shield break potential. Here's the Dragon Strike.
Yep, Dragon Strike thrown up through the ground. They try to get that halt there. Luffy falls dangerously low. Does manage to keep himself safe. Cart advancing again. The supercharger comes down, hit by the barrier. Maywalt denies some of that damage out from Gamsu. Cart still inching up, but Youngjin finds a pick as Architect gets taken down. We are now at 50 seconds remaining. Violet picked in the back line. Youngjin finding some crucial kills here for his team. Ding gets eliminated, but Coma is ready with a res. Moth now gone to the Storm Arrows. The up-team time in this series can't contend with Youngjin on this Hanzo. He will just go ahead and clean them up. 30 seconds remaining as Choyobin now gets knocked out of the mech.
Yeah, so he's going to be staggered here. Dies as quickly as he can. Moth has an immortality field. He's going to have to use it against this Dragon Strike. If the fight goes long, it's going to be great for the Dragons. The Nano should help them hold on to the point. They will get a Blizzard. Rascal's Blizzard isn't as useful until they get to the point. They don't have a Lucio to close that gap. So Immortality Field's so important right now when the Dragon Strike comes through. Look at the angle here for Youngjin. He's trying to find it.
They gotta get over to the card.
Immortality Field
already. Architect gonna be eliminated. They barely managed to tag in. Smurf makes his way through. Now we'll see the Ant Matrix and the Blizzard be tossed in. Rascal, however, gonna be eliminated, but Violet comes up with a kill on the Envy, knocking him out of the mech and finishing him off. Choyobin nearly in danger of losing out on his own mech, but instead will just go ahead and use that self-destruct. Lands it up onto the high ground, but cannot get back through. Youngjin cuts him down. Smurf gonna be taken out now. Mortality Field helps keep them alive for a little bit longer. The Bionade hits both supports. They get taken down. Architect is back in. He's on the Tracer, but has to recall out. They finish him off, and that's gonna be the stop. Right in front of B, the Shanghai Dragons will be able to halt this cart and now have a win condition on the board.
Very much a trend to see teams hold that specific spot on Blizzard World. You have so much space to work with. You've got the high ground versus your opponent's Hanzo versus your opponent's Mei. It makes it very difficult. The Zenyatta pick for Violet, not really getting the value he was looking for here. Shanghai have a chance to turn this series around now with a strong attack. They'll have attacker's advantage in terms of composition as well.
Well, See if they can put that map win on the board and try to get a reverse sweep. But much like we saw from the Boston Uprising earlier versus the Washington Justice, the road ended there. Only the one map win. Shanghai, though, going to be looking to go the distance.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Another hole just in front of point B, this time delivered by the Shanghai Dragons, stopping San Francisco Shock in their tracks. And now are going to be looking to put a map win on the board. Good stuff.
Good stuff indeed. I am just blown away at how great this series has been so far. Hoping that it continues here. Dragons have Ding on the far, or excuse me, onto the Somra, and that's going to be the scout, right? We talk about attacker's advantage all the time. Everyone's going to kind of hang back. They'll come in there, identify the composition. We'll see if they want to make any big changes. They're going to see right away there's no Pharah. It is going to be the Hanzo Mei.
Koma already swapping over, Ding jumping back, so will just be the Pharah Doomfist.
And this is what they won with in this exact matchup versus the Shock on Busan. And this is the composition they've been trying to run on defense when the Shock have come out and surprised them with the Pharah Widow every time they scout it. So this time the Dragons get to play the comp they want against the composition their opponents cannot change. I'm gonna have to hope for the best here. An early cap would be huge.
Jim not gonna find an angle to go in for that punch. Gets a nice seismic slam there onto the high ground, but Mortality Field used by Moth to make sure that nobody can get instantly deleted. Rejoin, but doesn't see the opportunity this time. Can't hold the punch long enough to try to get the elimination there on a Rascal, but he need not, because Envy is already there. Go ahead and eliminate him now. Just constantly going to be harassing Smurf. Gets the uppercut in the finish. And that should just be the cap here onto A. So just as quickly as we saw from the Shock, the Shanghai Dragons will be able to cap the point. Now the question is, can they make it to B to get that map victory?
A lot of what we just saw there was the Dragons cutting the Shock into two parts. Hold that thought. It's not over yet.
Yeah, Meteor Strike going to be used. He's going aggro with this one. Comes his way through, but Rascal is here with the McCree. It's a flashbang. Kills him off.
A little bit overzealous there. But they split Smurf off from the rest of the roster that was on the high ground. So Youngjin's able to threaten the back line there that doesn't have an Orisa in front of it with his rocket punches. But then when Smurf's on the other side, he's able to rocket punch him into the wall. The barrier doesn't do much for the Shock in this scenario. The Youngjin's actually going to keep this Doomfist here. They have a barrage. There's no Diva here for the Shock. So this is a huge moment.
Well, just looking to jump his way straight through it. Oh man, the barrage instantly deleted by the hook from Trey Hellbin. Doesn't matter if he's on the Diva, he is still just the 9 ults away. Youngjin gonna be taken down. Good rocket there from Dink, does manage to find Moth, but the ult just does not get what they wanted. Homa now gonna be taken out by Architect, and that will be a halt on the cart here. Bomb out from the side, straight up the lane actually from Envy. Manages to find a pick off onto Architect, Rascal under fire. Antied by the Bionades, dancing around. trying to make his way out of there, picks up that mini pack, and seems like he will be able to survive for now.
The high ground goes to the Dragons, though, and Choyobin overzealous here. He's very likely going to get picked. Nice bio nade.
Yeah, just got caught off in the rest of his team. They're still trying to keep him in the fight, but he is very much all on his lonesome and violent. The only support he was getting offered at that range has been taken down.
This is really bad for the Shock. This is a great setup now for the Dragons on high ground. Another delay here onto Rascal. He's just unable to get out. And this choke now does not belong to the Shock. The defenders can't defend unless they can get into position to do so. Barrage is ready. Choyobin, I don't know if he's going to get that hook again.
They have the Dragon Strike. They create a bit of space to try to make their way back over here, but the cart is getting dangerously close with still 3.5 minutes remaining. Barrage is up. Dragon Strike going to start things. Ding getting jumped on. Oh man, awkward angle. Does manage to survive for now as Deadeye comes through, but instead it's going to be Architect coming up with multiple kills here. A third as Luffy will fall. Envy just going to be trying to make it out with his mech intact. Seems like he just about should be able to do so.
Now the Dragons are going to, after these failed ultimates, swap just like the Shock did, you know, in a very similar situation, over to the Mei and Hanzo. So hero swaps coming through. And after reset here, unfortunately the Barrage didn't get what they wanted. It was an awkward setup. He concussive mined his way, or he blasted his way through the Dragon Strike, but then didn't have an angle to Barrage like he wanted.
Yep.
So slow going here for the Dragons. Youngjin's picked, and they're unable to take this high ground away. For the Shock, with Rascal, he's just hoping he can match Dig in terms of that Blizzard, because that's how you can really start to turn this into a full hold here. You know, not technically a quote-unquote full hold, but you know, the hold that you need.
Yeah.
And win this map, win the series off of it. As we see so many teams hold at this point.
Well, looking for that hole for the wall comes in. Just trying to keep everybody safe. Answering wall comes up though. Does force Ding into the ice block. Whole hog going to be coming through for Choyobin, but there's a bomb up over the top looking for the pick, and it's going to be Moth taken down. Violent does manage to punish that Baby Diva, however, but the res is going to be in from Coma. So this put him back into the fight. Dragon Strike now right here over onto the walkway looking for the kills. Rascal going to be taken down by Gamsu. All of Shanghai Dragons now piling down over towards the cart here on the low ground. Shots coming in. Architect, one hit from Gone. Smurf already eliminated, and Architect's just got to peel back, but it's 3 meters away. Here from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Violent trying to play up into the front. Choyobin in the back. Dangerously low, takes a breather to survive for a little bit longer, but they freeze him up, and that will be it. Shanghai Dragons not going down without a fight. We'll be able to put at least one map win on the board. Looking for another one as we get ready to move into Escort.
A lot of really nice self-destruct play from Envy there. 4 kills in total on the map. Killing off Moth meant that there was no immortality field for Youngjin's Dragon Strike. He's able to zone them out. And the Dragons, can they bring it back? We'll find out.
Yep, one more map potentially to go. Let's see if the Shock close it out or if the Dragons extend us to 5.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Everyone, stay out of my way. The toughest body cover. 动阵，不许走。
我が敵を食らう。
Justice reigns.
敵を食らう
He has been chosen well before he was eligible.
Wait till you see this kid. Wait till you see this kid.
There's a lot of expectations that are being put on that guy's shoulders.
He was the chosen one for the San Francisco Shock to turn their entire franchise around.
I'm from Shoreline, Washington. I just developed a love for gaming. I joined the World Cup team, and then that's when everyone noticed me.
Sinatraa diving deep!
That was a crazy moment. So that's when Shock hit me up.
Sinatraa actually lived up to his name. This was the guy that everybody was saying was going to be a huge player in this league.
So much expectations on him. The very second he hit the battlefield, he made a huge difference.
Sinatraa has been playing like a man possessed, leading the league in hero damage per 10, time to ult, and a whole lot more.
He rose the ladder. He came in based purely on his skill and put on dominant performances. A lot of people remember him as Tracer, but he transitioned to that Zarya so easily.
Sinatraa laying on the damage, 3K with that Zarya.
He's been definitively the best Zarya player in the league, maintaining high energy. Grab timings are really good.
Clutch bubbles, perfect positioning.
He's extremely aggressive, but he knows his limits.
Me playing Zarya, it allows me to be aggressive still because you have 400 HP and you deal a lot of damage. It's the perfect hero for me.
Sinatra's actually a bit of a strange guy mentally.
I like to just keep everything I do on match day just the same. Same time I wake up, same time take a shower. Just keeping everything the same so your mindset isn't worried about stuff. It's just neutral.
He's not very emotional.
Me and Shock just all reset our mindset before every stage, every match, every map.
But he's very vocal in a very calm kind of way.
He doesn't just think about himself. He's very aware of the team mentality and what he needs to do to be able to win at all times.
We're so much better. Let's go. I'm really proud of you guys.
Sinatraa has really just been the epitome for the San Francisco Shock.
The Vancouver Titans, Stage 1 champions.
Losing Stage 1 finals probably really hurt the Shock.
It was a very tragic loss.
He was supposed to lead them towards the promised land.
We tried so hard, in scrims for the next 3 months of Stage 2. That was probably the greatest feeling in my life, actually.
Seeing them be able to take down the Vancouver Titans and seeing Sinatraa in particular be such a huge core of that leadership was a real phenomenal moment.
He has kind of fulfilled his destiny.
He's an unbelievably good player.
Cast your vote on Twitter using #OwlMVP and the player's battle tag, or during any remaining regular season broadcast on Twitch. Voting ends on August 25th, so let your voice be heard.
Let your voice be heard indeed, Sideshow. Guys, it's your league, and it's your time to cast your vote for the T-Mobile Overwatch MVP. Make sure you vote for your favorite finalist using either the Twitch overlay or go to Twitter using the #OwlMVP and the players' battle tags to get those votes in before August 25th.
Sinatraa, one of the big favorites to win the MVP award, given his consistency throughout the entire season on multiple types of heroes. The tank role he played on Zarya, where Zarya was played as essentially a damage hero in the first 3 stages, but also in this 4th stage, he's been able to play the Tracer well, the Doomfist well. Those are the big standout heroes for Sinatraa. He will not, however, be subbed in here for our 4th and potentially final map of this series. So not going to necessarily take part in the revenge here, the Shock, in this rematch versus the Shanghai Dragons.
I'll see if he gets called on, if he is truly needed. If this goes to a Game 5, perhaps we will see the more veteran players in Sinatraa and Super take to the stage for the San Francisco Shock. For now, though, neither team making any roster changes at all. No substitutions coming through. Just going to be sticking with the same 12.
Attackers incoming.
What Hanzo gives you that a Widow doesn't is extra consistent damage. The Widowmaker can get you better picks and you have longer range to get those headshots and get those instant kills, but you don't have the ability to pressure shield because the rate of fire is just simply too low. And that's why Youngjin is in instead of DM in this meta. That's why you're seeing him on the sniper here. The Hanzo's sniper role, very different than Widow's because of that consistent damage output and the close range combat ability. Gonna go ahead and scout this out with the Sonic Arrow.
Go back for the moment.
Violet on Zenyatta. Let's see if he can get more value this time. They are running the Hog. So a lot of kill potential if they hook anyone.
Looking for that halt there onto Youngjin. Will be able to go ahead and dash his way back.
Notice how quickly the Discord Orb was onto Youngjin the second that halt came through.
Gonna break down that immortality field, but Gamsu going to be eliminated here. Shock gonna be still looking to capitalize as Choyobin goes up on top of the wall. As he goes down, it will be dead. He will be eliminated. Pull there, Youngjin will manage to get one final shot off onto Violet as Architect will get the kill. Park, however, still not moving.
Yeah, when you're playing this far forward, you need a Mercy so you can have those reses. You're not going to have that one, though.
Yep. Can't bring him back into the fray. Wants to use it. Matrix is out from Moth. Immortality field thrown down. The damage coming through will be enough to go ahead and break down Gamsu, so the cart can finally get opened up and move to the side of the San Francisco Shock.
They're going to operate on big Earls here. Gamsu obviously dying alone there. In this case, not going to be rezzed because they want to reposition back towards the point itself. Gamsu sacrificed himself to allow this to happen. If you get wiped, you get stuck in the choke. And we've been talking about that a lot on Route 66. They actually go so far back, though, they put themselves in the choke regardless. They don't get back control of big Earls.
Yeah. Fortunately for them, no Dragon Strike available yet for Architect, but as I say that, he will be able to build that one up. Just needed a little bit more. Dragon Strike goes through, but everybody has already kind of parted around it. Pull comes in, and feet going low. Nano boost from Luffy. That instant burst healing will be able to save his life. He still holds onto the mech, even if he had been knocked out. Self-destruction is available. Answering Dragon Strike now coming through. Jumps away at Smurf. Will get topped back up. Moth is going to be spamming those right clicks, trying to put it back into the fight here. Blizzard thrown in from Ding now. Transcendence out from Violet. Trying to keep everybody else topped up. As the Supercharger gets dropped in from the side of the Shock. Roscoe finds the first pick as Ding goes down now. Envy going to be eliminated as he uses that self-destruct. Only going to find the Supercharger. So he opened up the whole Hog. Will clean up one support. Violet will get the other. The cart will glide into A.
Nice plays there on the side of Rascal, holding the Blizzard to the last moment, getting that kill. And the Shock were trying to set up for a pick there onto Envy. Sleep came through for Luffy onto Choi Ho-bin. So Envy got away, but he was out of position. Rascal comes in with the Blizzard. There's a lot going on in this very, I just want to be honest, like high skill game of Overwatch we're watching right now. The two finalists from last stage finals duke it out. Rascal's getting the better of things, though, in terms of the May matchup.
Well, nearly getting taken down there. In the 1v6, effectively, as he was just taking some poke for that halt there. Trying to disrupt the high ground, but not going to fool anybody. Dragon Strike going to be used again here from Youngjin. As we see the Amp Matrix thrown down by Moth, trying to get the shots. To eliminate Koma, is unable to do so, but Gamsu's still going to be taken down to the front line. Now Envy knocked out the mech and eliminated as well, you would expect here. In just a few moments, could leave him out as the card is still pushing forward, and he's not hoping to stop it.
So much extra pressure.
Tries to get back in to that mech, but will get taken down. Moth and Violet, however, going to get taken out as we have some support v support combat.
It's just not fair. It's not a fair fight for Youngjin here. He's got the Mercy, but he's halted. The control of the ground is here to the Shock, and they're not able to take back this high ground, so this is just going to be a reset here. Might get a kill on the way out.
Dragon Strike going to be tossed through as he's using that animation. Youngjin comes back in, manages to get the shot, but Rascal will be able to eliminate him in turn. Koma trying to escape. He's just behind that pillar in time to keep himself safe, and Choyobin going to be taken down by a viewed from used by Luffy. Helps ensure that kill. Blizzard's still going to be committed to the fight by the side of Rascal. Trying to throw this one back around. Manages to find the Baby Diva. Ding going lower and lower, trying to stay alive. Nearly has a Blizzard of his own, and he's going to be using it, but Architect just stomps him out with a seismic slam. Well, Hart very close here. Will be able to roll through, and it's 3:45 on the clock for the Shock.
The good news is the Dragons were able to, in that fight, buy a little bit of time. The bad news is they used a lot of ultimates for it, including Youngjin's Dragon Strike there at the end after the point was already capped. And because they lose a late fight, look at this high ground position for the Shock. Rascal's on top of them right now. Going to save his ice block here, just use the health packs and that Batiste healing, but it's going to take a long time for the Dragons to look for a good fight here without Dragon Strike to take that high ground back.
Yep, another wall used there to keep Choyobin safe. Youngjin trying to keep control of this high ground, but it's tagged up, pushes back up to the top. To be very careful. Sonic Arrow going to be spotting out a lot for him. As we see that pull off the high ground, and Architect with a sliver of HP drops back down, but Youngjin gets him right there in the end. The last arrow coming through. Manages to find that kill. Damage on the Rascal will just go ahead, drop back down, and Youngjin is now going to be the one in control. Gets the hit there on the Smurf, finishing him off. Building up towards that next Dragon Strike. Transcendence was used. Choyobin goes in with the whole hog, but is frozen, interrupting that one. And they couldn't heal him beforehand.
Youngjin's crazy. He finally gets taken out here, but that was an insane set there. Him just having the high ground. You can see why high ground matters when you're up there, when you could take it back. You could challenge your opponent's Hanzo, get that kill, then be uncontested up at the top. You're just shooting people in the head. Even body shots with the storm arrows are just going to wear them down. And now Architect has to fight for it back.
Yeah, Matrix again, going to be used. Architect trying to get behind that one to utilize that extra damage. Dragon Strike rolls through over onto the card, but the Immortality Field is set up and no one can take that one away. From the side of the Shock, Youngjin going to be eliminated moments after Gamsu gets res back into the fight, so now going to have to wait for him to respawn. Choyobin in the meantime, pushing forward, looks for that hook onto Luffy, is unable to find it. Will force a nano out, I believe, onto Envy. Great hit again, the Dragon Strike is there. That's going to be Gamsu taken down, but there's a bomb into the back, and Architect is going to get picked off. Envy, however, unable to make his way back into that mech, will get picked off by Moth. The hook is there, Luffy goes down to the combo from the Hog. The cart is still gliding and no one can stop it. So the Shock roll through with time in the bank.
You're able to do a lot of things with Halt and Dragon Strike. You're able to buy space, you're able to get kills. Sometimes you get a triple kill, quadruple kill. You know, you think of the London Spitfire and Gestures, Halts, with Birdwing coming in with a Dragon Strike for the London Spitfire. But when you look at the Shock here, they knew that that last fight was going to be favorable for them because of the positioning of the Dragons. They were stuck in that room on the right side, and they knew that Koma, of course, is on the Mercy. And he was on the Mercy the entire time, looking for damage boosting, looking for Valkyrie, looking for Resurrect potential. But you lose the Immortality Field when you have that Mercy instead. So your Dragon Strikes are always going to be more potent. And that last one there for Architect kind of sealed the deal there. Not an amazing time bank for the San Francisco Shock, but with so many teams getting held right before B on this map, when the high ground gets taken and you can't take it back, and you feel pretty good when you finish this map as the San Francisco Shock. The Dragons end up struggling either here on A around Big Earls or on those high ground setups there that you have just past this gateway. Many lesser teams have fallen in similar positions. Dragons, let's see if they continue to use this Mercy. It looks like from the outset here, they want to. And it gives you the potential, especially when you're fighting up in these close battles right next to the spawn, you know, when everything's in your face, you have the ability to res a Mei that might die first and you get a second lease on that team fight. You might be able to res an Orisa, get that extra armor, get that massive tank up the front line. But you lose a lot otherwise. Utility, AoE healing, Immortality Field, it's a problem.
Well, we do have Architect back over onto the Widowmaker, gets a body shot there onto Ding. Youngjin was showing us Widow for a moment, but we're not going to get to see that yet, it would seem. We'll just be back over onto the Hanzo.
He may swap in a moment here, we'll see.
Either way, Maywall's going to be used from both sides. Rascal getting a bit more poke damage in, it's over 50% now towards that Blizzard. Get that Halt through, but the headshot's not quite jiving for Architect. He's unable to eliminate anybody from the fight. Choyobin trying to take a breather. Immortality Field will come in from Moth to keep him alive. That'll get killed off. Team Matrix actually keeps Youngjin alive for so very long, but Architect finally finds the shot. Now it's going to be Smurf eliminated, and the res is there onto the Hanzo for the side of the Dragons. Blizzard coming down. Rascal trying to turn this one back around on its head. Envy going to be Nano just to stay in the mech. Ups out that damage, and Choyobin will go down. And Matrix is thrown in from Moth. You have to be very respectful about this damage that can be output. Architect finds another pickoff.
Looks like he's just gonna challenge the Hanzo.
Yeah, they're trying to keep him alive. He's trying to get that headshot through. Can't quite do so though.
He's not able to get the kill, and the Dragons will get around this corner now. Really great plays from Envy. The defense matrix there across the board, and each one of those little skirmishes gives them so many advantages. Now Ding has that Blizzard. And the Shock have to respect this situation here. They can't actually just straight up challenge this point with Architect on Widow because of the Orisa barrier.
Shield break a little bit weaker. Dragon Strike going to be thrown here onto the low ground, and actually Rascal gets taken down. Choyobin trying to drag something back in with that hook, but doesn't quite find the hit. Smurf going to have to use the Fortify. As we see Dink come in with the flank, still holding onto the Blizzard now, going to be using it. Of course, no chance of having that one taken away, as Choyobin is still on this Roadhog, looking to get a kill onto Youngjin in the back. Is able to do so, but the cart in the meantime has pushed all the way through into A, 4:25 in the time bank.
It's time for your Architect, I think, to swap off of this Widowmaker, because the Dragons, instead of playing around high ground, can actually just play around the Orisa barrier when you're running this Widow. He does swap. This is exactly what we were talking about when we first came into this map, is the difference between Widowmaker and Hanzo as snipers. The Widowmaker only gives you kill potential if you can get that line of sight and get that headshot. Otherwise, it's not doing a whole lot for barrier break. And when the Dragons were positioned well, Architect couldn't get value.
Shock already rushing their way back out to have that high ground control. Jin poking his way up.
He has no fear.
Yeah, no, he is taking some shots. Nearly eliminated Rascal there. But the Dragon Strike getting ready to come back through. It goes low, bomb into the back. Envy looking for a pick. Breather there from Choyobin keeps him safe and alive. Architect looking up here onto the high ground. Looking for an angle, looking for a target. Ding going to be eliminated so far, but Luffy fires back. It's the Bionate from Liana's taking down the maze. Interesting to see as Youngjin again is constantly harassing Architect from the side. And now that he's got that high ground, comes up with a kill on the Moth.
Youngjin, can he win this duel?
He is quite surrounded at the moment. Getting pressure applied from both Envy and Youngjin. Rez goes through onto Luffy, Dragon Strike. Weakening Gamsu, but he's going to be okay for now. Whole Hog doesn't have an angle, not really going to be getting too much damage in, but just buying time for the side of the Shock. As they wait for everybody else to rejoin. Moth is on his way, but Violet's going to be taken down before he can get there for the Immortality Field. Now used, just to keep Choyobin in the fight, as the Blizzard is tossed in by Rascal. Manages to find the headshot. Comes in, takes down Gamsu. Luffy and Youngjin gone as well. So Shanghai Dragon's going to be held at bay for now.
The most interesting thing about how the Dragons are playing at this is still the Mercy to me. You know, the reses haven't been too impactful. It's really just about the pocketing that Youngjin is getting right now as Hanzo. They're just putting the Mercy on him and having him climb up a wall and hoping that he can actually sometimes 1v3, get those flank shots, get those headshots, get those kills. It's really reminiscent of how Paris played this map with Soon on the Widow. It's just this one player getting pocketed, trying to carry the map on his own with, you know, support, of course, on the ground. But he keeps going for these flanks, right? And Koma's on his backside, healing him non-stop. He's not alone here, not really, but in some ways he is. He's just looking for these snipe kills onto Architect.
Well, Architect this time will get the better of him for that Orb of Harmony to help back him up. Ding is still going forward with the Blizzard. Smurf just walks away from it. Now Envy's going to be gone. We'll see if Ding wants to change things up perhaps, but otherwise a major waste on that Blizzard.
Youngjin's going to have Dragon Strike here for this next fight. But that's not really been his plan, is not playing around the Dragon Strike. He's playing around trying to steal this high ground away with the Mercy. But unfortunately, the Shock are very prepared for this now. You could even see Violet was turned at him firing orbs when he went up there last time because it's so predictable now. He's done it the last few team fights. Moth has Immortality Field, so the Dragon Strike, you don't feel like it's really going to be the big one, the big ultimate here for this push.
Yep, Shock looking for the cutoff delay Dragon Strike. Buys a couple seconds. As the Shock have to wait for that one. Gamsu gonna get yoinked in, taken down. Good luck resing that one, Koma. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Certainly not gonna happen. Look at the headshots coming through across the board here for the Shock as they clean up house. One more push, realistically here, is all the Shanghai Dragons have. If they fail this one, they'll have another quote-unquote attempt, you know, but with how far they have to push this and how far up they have to go, it's going to be hard to even tag. While the Shock sit pretty with 5 ultimates here, choke point controlled, Blizzard is up, and they have Immortality Field.
It's nearly 5 ultimates as well for the Dragons. But that Architect finds a nice shot. Rez will be there this time from Koma. Nearly 5 for the Blizzard is going to be the big one that they're lacking.
Is it 5 ultimates or is it 0? Because if you can't use them, you don't have them.
Yep, Sleep comes down, but the barrier's there to protect Choyobin. Still going to be safe as we drop down to 15 seconds remaining.
You've got to get into position for this. You've got to fight your way to this high ground. You have to somehow for the Dragons. Supercharger first.
Mortality has been used. They drop down here onto the low ground. Dragon Strike coming through, but everybody already hiding back on the side of the Shock. Bionade connects on the 2. They're not unable to capitalize so far. Another barrier gets set up. They're looking for the halt. Architect finds a shot on the Young Jin. He's taken down. Moth, however, going to be eliminated. Goma has a res, but now Envy going low. Tries to get something back, and he remack. Sliver of HP is able to do so, but Ding's going to be gone. Gamsu out of the fight. Young Jin falling lower and lower. Try to top him back up, but Envy in the back line will get knocked out of that mech yet again. Lumpy getting chunked, eliminated by Choi Hyobin. Violet finds the Baby Diva, and the OT starts dwindling away. It seems like that is going to be it. The San Francisco Shock stop them in their tracks and take this victory 3-1 over the Shanghai Dragons.
They get their revenge. They're able to take down the Stage 3 champions, Shanghai Dragons, who defeated them in that final. The San Francisco Shock do it without MVP candidates Sinatra and Super, making a massive statement here tonight. I don't think anyone is doubting that if we had a Stage 4 playoffs, if we had a Stage 4 championship, this team would right now be the front runners. But everyone's skipping ahead. Everyone's starting to think about season playoffs right now. With how in form the San Francisco Shock look right now, I mean, they are the front runners, and it's incredible because this is a completely different meta. They dominated 3 stages, were extremely consistent in 3 stages of Reinhardt, Zarya. You go into 2-2-2 roll lock, and they are still on top.
Managed to get that victory. Shanghai back to the drawing board. Some true moments of brilliance throughout this series. A fantastic defense on Blizzard World, but just not enough for them to be able to take down the Shock again. Vengeance has been achieved for San Francisco, but guys, we got Danny Lim standing by on the floor with Rascal, so let's go ahead and hear from him.
Well, fellow Killers, thank you very much. Everybody make some noise for Rascal and San Francisco Shock. Well-deserved win. Great job. It was an amazing series. Now, this series today was a rematch of the Stage 3 finals. Because you guys lost to Shanghai Dragons back then, were you guys more motivated and determined to get your revenge on them today? 아무래도 오늘 경기가 스테이지 3스테이지 결승전 리매치였기 때문에 좀 오늘은 꼭 한번 꼭 상하이 드래곤즈 이겨야겠다. 좀 이런 마음이 좀 셌었나요?
아무래도 복수전이다 보니까 다른 그 어느 경기보다 좀 기대됐었던 경기이고 그리고 또 이길 줄 알고 있었던 것 같아요.
Coming into today's match because it was a rematch and it was a revenge match for us San Francisco Shock. So I was super excited to come into this match, and honestly, I knew we were gonna win today against the Shanghai Dragons, and you guys did. Great job. And also, I have to talk about your Pharah play in Volskaya attack. You really played out of your mind, and you really outplayed Ding, one of the best Pharah players in the Overwatch League. Now, because you outplayed him, would you say that you are the best Pharah in Overwatch League? And I'm just not going to translate this because I know you speak English. You know what I'm talking about. Are you the best Pharah?
Yes.
There you go. You guys heard it. All righty. Thank you so much. Casters, back to you guys.
A very timid confirmation on that, but good to see the confidence all the same coming out from Rascal. Knew that they were going to win and says, yes, I am the best Pharah. So
I think he wants to prove
stuff.
it. I think he wants to prove it in the playoffs, and I think that's why he's given the timid yes. He wants to further prove it. He's already won the duel against Ding, who, up until this point, I think, as Sideshow mentioned earlier, is still considered to be the best Pharah, but still looked so dominant, and that's why he's your player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. Rascal.
I mean, just fantastic stuff from Rascal consistently throughout this. Even when Ding was trying to match him on the Mei, there was such a difference in damage between the two of them. Rascal was getting so much more done. His Pharah came out, and it surprised all of us. We knew that he was good, but to absolutely dunk on Ding,
These were
insane.
These were his best heroes back at Apex, the Pharah and the Mei, and finally we're in a meta so long after that time, 2 years later, where he gets to play these two heroes almost exclusively and find so much success. He had a hard time on the Fuel and before that, London Spitfire, but he's found his place on the Shock, and he's player of the match tonight playing those OG heroes he played and kind of popularized back in the day. So it's a pretty good feeling, to stand on stage as player of the match.
Speaking of standing on stage, let's take a look at our standings as the Dragons now find themselves with a negative map differential and down in that 9th place spot. Still more wins than losses, but need to improve if they want to keep themselves stuck in that top 12.
Yeah, Dragons here, 13 and 12 is not where you want to be, especially after being Stage 3 champions, dropping off quite a bit. Shock still chasing after the Titans here. If the Titans drop few more series, there's a chance that they could take that Pacific title. So they got to keep winning every single series in order for that to happen. But the Titans not looking perfect in this stage either. So there is that possible shift. We know they're already locked into playoffs, but can they get that Pacific Division title? That's something that's pretty prestigious to take. It's the harder division. Everybody knows that.
A lot of teams at the top dropping some matches, but it seems like the Shock just reigning supreme so far. We'll see if they can keep that up as we keep watch of their matches throughout the rest of the stage. But guys, we're not done yet. We got one more series for you tonight. It's going to be the Hangzhou Spark going up against the NYXL. We'll see who comes out on the top of that one when we come back in just a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.